I'd just like to introduce myself. My name is Julien. Um, what I have chosen to do today is try to help everybody to understand some of the adversities that I've faced over time, how that has led me to become resilient, and also just some of the sacrifices I've had to make in order to reach some of my goals. Um, so I'll start with the basic understanding of resilience, and I know resilience can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. Being resilient today has led me to be on um, this TED talk today, which I really appreciate the opportunity. So I would say that the dictionary definition would be the capacity to recover. And I think sometimes resilience can be overlooked, and we tend to underestimate our resilience and the work that we do in order to become better people in life. I think resilience gives us the opportunity to problem solve. And I think every single day we face resilience, whether that's the choices that we make through life or our work life. I believe everybody listening today would have faced some kind of adversity at some point in their life. Um, and it's just how you deal with that, how you overcome that, and what you learn from that. I think that's the most important thing, is to learn from your experiences and how you can use resilience to yourself. I'm not the kind of person that likes to too much on the problem or the negative side of things. I like to use my understanding of situations and my goals. So I think a lot of us, especially during COVID, would have faced adversity. Some people have faced bereavement, job losses, and the like. And if we wasn't resilient as a nation, how can we overcome some of the situations that have happened in our life? So, I think in order for me to help you understand where my resilience came from, I'll just give you a little bit of my background. So I was born into a household of four. My mother was a single mother of three at 20 years old, single mother of four at 24 years old. And I look back at it now and I think to myself, in today's society, a 24-year-old with four children on her own, and in those times, some of the benefits were available and the support was just not there. Um, my main resilience came from my upbringing and my understanding of where I came from. So my mother, I believe, was extremely instrumental in helping me with that resilience. I understand that some people are raised with development mode and some people are raised in survival mode. So with being raised in development mode, sometimes you don't understand the adversities because you've got your parents' support who will help you to overcome them. But being brought up in survival mode, in my opinion, really strengthens the resilience. So I remember my mum used to have a saying, I get by, I rob to pay Paul. And that kind of stuck with me, because when you need something, you have the opportunity to understand your goals, understand your aspirations, and then you've got a clear path in order for you to realize those goals and opportunities. Um, so getting back a bit to where my resilience came from, when I was in school, I found that some of the attention I maybe wasn't getting at home, I brought into my schooling life, which led me to be excluded on numerous occasions. My mum had to be extremely resilient in that case and fight for me to get into another school. Um, Resilient then because I've started a new school. I started quite late, year 9, I think it was. So there's loads of different things that I feel that was the foundation for my resilience today. Some of my exclusions and some of the adversities that I faced led me to take a direction and choose a circle of friends that I believed were just my friends at the time, which they were, admittedly. Some of the choices they were making never ever sat right with me because of my upbringing, and I knew that my mum had faced adversity and overcome adversity the right way. So that led me to think about my options and my future and what I wanted from life. I knew that I wanted to be successful. I knew that I wanted to provide for my family. I knew that some of the situations that I faced as a young man, I needed to try to pave a way for my future generation and my future children in order for them not to have to go through things that I faced. So I set about starting a business. I won't go too much into that, but the first attempt failed. Um, I could have, on most definitely, on numerous occasions, given up, um, but I stuck with it because I had a clear goal. And if any message comes out of anything I'm trying to say here today, would be for you guys to understand that you have to have a goal. You have to have a clear path you're trying to achieve, because if you don't have that goal, when you hit the hurdle or you hit adversity or you have to make certain sacrifices in life, if you don't have a future vision, you won't be able to jump those hurdles, and you will constantly be diverting into different areas. My opinion, is not beneficial, because kind of just going off of your own map, or you're following somebody else's map. So I think it's important to have your own goals. As I said, I had a passion for change. I had a better. A lot of people use the phrase, prove them wrong. You can do this, you can prove them wrong. But for me, it's about proving myself right, having that resilience and that understanding of who I am and what I can achieve. Um, and I think that's probably one of the most important things. And one of my passions for life in general is trying to give back some of my learning and understanding and some of the sacrifices I've had to make. So I, just a little bit of background, I now run a startup. It's a sustainable food ordering platform that is aimed at reducing the carbon footprint and by providing dishes to the masses from surplus produce. And when I first started on my journey, I was compared to quite a few businesses. So what I could have done in that instance, I could have said, okay, this is not for me. Okay, I'm going to change my business. Sometimes the negative feedback that we face and the criticism in some aspects that we face can deter us on our journey. But I feel like that's when my resilience really kicked in, and my passions changed, and my clear goals for my dreams and aspirations kicked in. And I changed my model, and I understood the industry, and I understood my competitors, and I understood where the gap was in the market, and I created an opportunity within that gap. I had that clear path, and I started a business. We're very successful in what we do. I think I've reached all the goals that I've tried to reach, and as I said, it's fantastic that you have a clear path and you set that. Um, and I wanted to make sure that every time I faced a hurdle, I had an option. And I'm quite a forward thinker that gave me the opportunity to do that. Um, and I know I had to make certain sacrifices. So, for instance, I haven't brought a new pair of trainers for, I don't know, maybe 2 years. But I'm happy in that environment. And the reason why I'm happy in that environment is because I don't have anybody to impress. And those are the sacrifices I've made. I stepped away from some of the people that were around me that are very much materialistic and image led. And they constantly spend most of their time looking for ways on how they can create the best Instagram post, or how many likes they can get. And I think that kind of leads me into my final point. This is just general advice for anybody who is struggling, whether that's with some of the society, what society dictates, the image. I find it quite uncomfortable sometimes when you see somebody diminishing who they are just to fit in. And I've noticed that on social profiles, that some people are stepping out of their comfort zone. They're not being who they want to be because they feel like in some way that they have an audience. But I would say, in order to be really resilient, that you have to understand, who are you trying to impress? And what do those people mean to you? It's like being in a relationship with somebody that cares about if you've got a nice car or a nice house. You know, you have to be resilient in those aspects, because you're not, you will just constantly be directed by how you feel you conform to a certain image or a certain lifestyle. I think that can be extremely dangerous. And I think that's one of the major things that is a barrier to resilience, not knowing who you are and not understanding what you want personally. And fundamentally, you are pleasing yourself. And if you have to make those sacrifices whereby, you might have to shop into Tesco's for clothes, for instance, that's just how it is, because you have your own path and you have your own goals, and you're willing to make those sacrifices to get to where you need to get to. For instance, I'll give you an example. I have to pay for plugins for my website. There's so many things that are priority to me, and it's about prioritizing exactly what you want in order to reach your goals. So I'll kind of close up now, and I'll sort of summarize everything I'm saying and try to by the message I'm trying to say. That you don't have a clear path and you don't have a goal. Nobody sets out on a journey from A to B without using Google Maps, for instance, or having an understanding of what they're going to achieve at the end. And I think if you don't have that goal, that will not give you the resilience that you need in order to reach those goals. Not willing to make sacrifices to be a better person to achieve those goals, then your resilience is never going to be there. Because although yes, subliminally we do become resilient, just if you go for a breakup, for instance, you have to overcome that breakup. You don't really want to take that breakup into your next relationship, for instance. So I think it's just about using your inner strength, using your own self-worth. That's the most important thing here, is self-worth. Who are you? What do you want out of life? And what are you going to do to achieve that? Can you do that without having people and outside influences breaking you down and making you not reach your goals? So on that note, I'd like to leave this. And I'd just like to thank everybody for giving me the opportunity to speak today. And it's the first time I've ever spoken live. And this is the first time I've ever spoken, to be fair. But I feel it's important because I have a message and I've achieved what I've achieved. And I've overcome some serious adversity from childhood, some of my learned behaviors. Just assess yourself and believe in yourself. Have a clear goal. Don't let anybody get in the way of that. And when something hits you, when the milk spilled, mop that up. There's alternatives. There's water in the tap. If it wasn't milk that you wanted to use, sometimes you might not have that milk. Or go to the shop and buy another pint. But just don't emphasize too much on the milk that's spilled. Thank you.